Spotify just patented its own A&R technology that predicts breaking artists. And clearly I'm talking about this because this is technology based. So I did kind of put this under the technology category. So you kind of get away with it. A new track is uploaded to Spotify nearly every second of each day. So using the service as a talent scouting tool can sometimes feel like finding a needle in a haystack. Spotify knows this, and it's working on something to remedy it. Music business worldwide has discovered that Spotify has invented technology that predicts which relatively unknown artists on its platform are likely to break in the near future. According to a new U.S. patent granted on Tuesday, March 1st, and obtained by Music Business Worldwide, Spotify has developed what it's calling of a system and method for breaking artist predictions in media and content environment. Spotify's new invention works by determining one or more early adopters from its user base and then collecting the data from their listening patterns. So rather than Spotify making like an AI that can predict what song is going to be good, they're just going to use the user data that they already have from the tastemakers who they already know are tastemakers. So, I mean, I don't know but maybe me. So people who listen to music who are not a good idea. I'm scratching my eye right now. But people who listen to music that is constantly breaking. So if you listen to an artist maybe a couple months before they blow up and you're constantly doing this, Spotify is going to tag your account and then just start watching everything your account does. And then based off basically a giant aggregate of accounts, you can kind of start telling what artist might end up popping. The system can then predict which artists are more likely to break based on the listening patterns of these early adopters. The patent explains, quote, a user who requested playback of media content from a plurality of breaking artists is determined and assigned the role of early adopter. The breaking artist prediction logic can thereafter predict future breaking artists based on further playback request from an early adopter interacting with their media device via the software application. The breaking artist prediction logic and therefore after the artist in. Yeah, so playback request is basically you want to play it again. Spotify notes that a user flagged as an early adopter need not have any knowledge that they are an early adopter, as the media server responds by streaming the requested media content as it responds to all users. So we won't know if we're getting our data sucked off, but Spotify knows. It's A&R folks. But the listeners are doing all the work. Even if they need not have any knowledge, they are doing so. Exactly. So you're just cutting the A&R out. You're just sucking up. I mean, if you're a Spotify, why not do it? Also, to point out, within the filing, originally filed in 2016. So they filed this in 2016. That means that they were already implementing the technology. You don't have to own a patent to implement the technology. So for all we know, from 2016 until now, they've been doing this and they've already been tagging people as tastemakers. So this shit's been going on. Originally filed in 2016 and which you can read full here. Spotify uses figure 4 pictured above to illustrate the system predicting breaking artists. Spotify says the system includes a back-end media server system and that this media server can include a breaking artist prediction logic. In essence, the prediction logic watches consumers that Spotify has identified as early adopters to see which breaking artists they are playing and replaying. Spotify explains in the filing that the breaking artist prediction logic can determine artists that have increased in popularity in the past based on the historical data. If someone hacks that and gets their hands on that, I'm sure they love that logic. Spotify explains that an artist can be deemed to be breaking if the popularity of the artist exceeds a minimum playback threshold while having experienced growth in popularity that exceeds a minimum growth threshold. Spotify suggests that an arbitrary example that a minimum playback threshold could be 200,000 playback requests across the platform in 1 month. A minimum growth threshold, meanwhile, could be a 300% month-to-month increase in playback requests. So they're explaining some of the possible attributes that they use in the logic system. Spotify underscores that these metrics are merely exemplary, and a minimum playback threshold may be higher or lower. In addition, according to the filing, numbers for determining whether an artist can be determined or deemed breaking or can vary between genre, formats, and audience demographics. For example, a minimum playback threshold for a breaking pop singer may be 200,000 playback requests a month, explains Spotify. Meanwhile, a minimum playback threshold for a breaking pianist that records classical pieces may be 20,000 playback requests in a month. So, depending on genre, the logic changes depending on genre also. Spotify argues that its patent that if a service provider can predict that an artist will break out, then that service provider could also potentially seek to partner with the artist early for possible promotion and recording deals. This is the quote. Seek to partner with the artist, so partner as in money or financially partnering with an artist for possible promotion, which is blasting their shit on all their playlists, and recording deals. So who even knows what that means? But this is what they want to do. This is the A&R. Spotify is just going to put to fucking rest normal A&R, and it looks like they've already been doing it. They had this patent since 2016, or they applied for this patent in 2016. So the technology had to already been in use up until then, or after 2016. So this is what they want: to seek partnership with artists for early possible promotion and recording deals. Any major record label reading, yes, that does indeed indicate that Spotify is exploring the prospect of using this tech to ink early stage recording deals with about to break talent. We expect this is all totally fine with you. Yeah, I'm sure it is. So if you don't really see an issue with, I don't really find an issue with that. We give up enough data to them, so at a certain point, like, we just gotta let them do it. We already give them the data. The data's already. This is the problem, and one of the issues that a lot of people talk about, and a cool part also is once you have the data, there are so many different things you can do with the data. So not only can you give every single person a cool thing at the end of the year with all the data, you can also use that data to help make you more money in ways like tracking who people listen to, and if they're breaking artists, then we can use that data to find those breaking artists before the people even know that they're breaking artists. Power of technology. Power of technology also is a perfect transition into our next topic block, as Breaking Points would call it.